Hey family, God bless everybody. I want to share another message with you guys that's stemming off of the last few videos that I've been sharing with you guys of things that the Lord's been telling me about my own ministry and calling and others' ministries and callings and the times that we are leading into or that we are currently in. So before I even jump into that, I just wanted to share something pretty cool because my last video said, or my last video was titled that the Lord is empowering us to do a mighty work. So the very night after that, I was given a word. So what I titled that video was extremely prophetic because the word that I was given said, Jesus is empowering us to do mighty great things. So that was confirmation that everything I've been speaking has been being delivered by the Lord Himself. And all these things are truth. So now getting to the things that the Lord gave me to share with you guys today. So I had a dream that same night where I saw that there was something like a pencil sharpener, and I was told that I had it backwards. So for me, that was telling me that something I thought I understood, that I had it flipped. I didn't have it fully correct. So then I saw that there was an angel there, and this angel was aiding or assisting someone. And then I knew that there were 5 of them. There were 5 of these angels. And one of them was there to aid me. The angel that I saw had on a dark colored robe and had like lighter color, like not fully white, but like white wings that were like folded back behind him. So immediately, or when I got a chance that next morning, I started to look into these things. I prayed about it, and I started to do my research on it because I knew this image that I saw in this dream of this angel that was speaking to me that night. I knew it was something that I saw before, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to put this image in the on the video as the thumbnail of the video. And if I don't do that, then I'll just put it a link to the image. So from what I looked up or what I found the exact image that I saw in my dream. And in the image, this angel has on dark colored clothing. His wings are like folded behind him, and he is leaning over, aiding someone, just like I saw. But what I also noticed that I didn't notice in the dream, in this image, this angel is holding a scythe or a sickle. So what I know is that this is a reaper angel. These are angels of the harvest. So exactly like I've been saying, what the Lord has been telling me is that it is harvest time. It's harvest time. The fruit is ripe. And the angels, there's 5 angels that are working in the harvest. They're the reaper angels. And I've been shown all this a year ago, and I didn't fully grasp what I was being shown, but he brought it all back. So I'm going to explain all that in this video. So the angel that I saw in this dream, from my research, says that this angel's name is Azrael, spelled Azrael. And what is said through the Wikipedia or wherever I found it at was that Azrael is often identified with the angel of death of the Hebrew Bible. The Hebrew name translates to help of God, help from God, or one whom God helps. So that brought to my memory, a sister had told me that she had a dream about me, and that God told her that there was going to be a helper during the tribulation time, and she saw that it was me, that I was I was this helper, and I was in armor the color of emerald. So that kind of tied that in for me. But then what he had brought to my memory was that a year ago he revealed this to me. On 3/8/16, I was in prayer, and I saw an angel that looked like he was working, and his wings were white and flapping, and he had on a white robe. I then saw a scythe in front of me, like he was handing it over to me, like this scythe was being given to me. And I reached out and grabbed it in this vision. So, and I remember I shared this in a video before. I don't remember what video it was because it was a long time ago, but I know I remember sharing this in a video. So this is recorded. And that same night of March 8th, 2016, was when I saw the vision of the harvest. And in this vision, I saw branches of different types being gathered and stood up like they were, like a hut was being made, as what I said in the when I wrote it down, because at the time I wrote it down, I didn't really understand what I was seeing. But what I was seeing was the tares being bundled together. But what I wrote was, I saw branches of different types being gathered and stood up like they were making a hut, and then they were set on fire. And I said the first branches I saw had orange leaves that looked like fire on the ends of the stems. And I said they were all being carried over my head from left to right. So I didn't see a hand that was carrying it, but it was like an invisible hand, but these bundles were moving. So I know that was the hand of God, or rather, as the word says, these were the angels, the reaper angels that were doing this. So this tied together with the fact that I saw this reaper angel with the scythe, and then I saw the harvest, the tares being bundled together. So then that's when I came across Matthew 13:30, which says, "Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat in my barn." So we're the wheat. So then some other scriptures that he gave to me the other day about the reaper angels was, first was Mark 4:29, which says, "As soon as the grain is ripe, he puts the sickle to it, because the harvest has come." Again, it's harvest time. The fruit is ripe. Then there's Revelation 14:14-19, which says, "I looked, and there before me was a white cloud, and seated on the cloud was one like a son of man, with a crown of gold on his head, and a sharp sickle in his hand. Then another angel came out of the temple and called in a loud voice to him who was sitting on the cloud, 'Take your sickle and reap, because the time to reap has come, for the harvest of the earth is ripe.' So he who was seated on the cloud swung his sickle over the earth, and the earth was harvested. Another angel came out of the temple in heaven, and he too had a sharp sickle. Still another angel who had charge of the fire came from the altar and called in a loud voice to him who had the sharp sickle, Take your sharp sickle and gather the clusters of grapes from the earth's vine, because its grapes are ripe. The angel swung his sickle on the earth, gathered its grapes, and threw them into the great winepress of God's wrath. So that's the grapes, if you don't understand this, are talking about the wicked. They're going to be thrown into the winepress of God's wrath. They're going to receive God's wrath. But the fruit that's ripe, that's us. We are going to be harvested and gathered into the barn. And God is saying right now that this is the time that we are in. We are it is here. It's here now. We are that the fruit is ripe and is ready to be harvested. And God has been showing me that He is sick of all the wickedness of the house of wickedness, just like I was telling you in the recent video where I was walking through that house of wickedness, and I was just done. I was fed up with it, and I pushed the house over, as the word says that the house of wickedness will be destroyed, but the house of righteousness will flourish. So then Joel 3:12-13 says, "Let the nations be roused, let them advance into the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I will sit to judge all the nations on every side. Swing the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come trample the grapes, for the winepress is full, and the vats overflow. So great is their wickedness." God is saying He's tired of the wickedness of seeing it's coming to a fullness now. He's fed up with it, and he's ready to take them out, to destroy them. And that's why it's so paramount right now that the Lord is telling us to go out and to speak His word to those before this time of judgment comes, before the judgment comes, because it's like it's here. He's saying it's time. So some things that the Lord brought me to as I was looking up information on these 5 reaper angels. The Lord gave me led me to these awesome websites of, I believe they're pastors that wrote about prophecies that they were given about these 5 angels. So I'm just going to read just a couple things from these 2 websites. That I wrote down, and I'm going to put the links to them so that you can read the rest, because there's a lot of really good stuff about these things. So the first website, the article says, "While ministering in San Diego recently, the Lord revealed to me 5 angels that have been released into North America to bring revival fires to key cities." Again, that revival fire, that's talking about in the other dream where I told you guys that I saw that we were called to go out to a fire drill. This is the fire drill. So he says, in North America, to bring revival fires to key cities. These 5 angels will be moving along 5 key highways that crisscross the United States. These highways will be known as revival highways. The angels of God are looking for the sons and daughters of the kingdom to start decreeing and moving in faith. That's what we're doing right now. That's what He's calling us to do. As we begin to speak as God's authority or oracles on earth, all of heaven will come to back our words. That's why He's sending us these angels to aid us. The angels are being released to facilitate the will of God on the earth. So then he says, the angels that have been released in America are Breakthrough Revival, Winds of Change, Healing Revival, Great Grace, and Wisdom. And then he says, I've encountered each of these angels over the past few years in key meetings as we've ministered and brought a powerful release of revelation, miracles, signs, and wonders. Each time I've seen them, it's been in meetings located directly off of major interstates and intersections in North America. And he says God is preparing the body of Christ to shine with the glory that the nations would see it and come to the brightness of our rising. Isaiah 60 says that his glory will be seen upon you. That just blew my mind, because that's exactly what I've been saying, what the Lord has been showing me about us shining his light, being the luminaries, walking the path of the luminaries, that he's preparing us. As I said, he called me to come into him in fasting and prayer, so that he can prepare me to go out and do this mighty work. So then the next article, the part that I want to share with you, this guy says that the first angel that he encountered, these 5 angels, they came in and spoke with him, gave him this prophecy. So he says the first angel, he said, I was trembling while the angel was speaking. Then he looked at me and smiled and said, there shall be the greatest spiritual awakening, tying in the things from the other article. And he says, bondage will be broken, barriers will be removed, and all over Asia, China, India, people will turn to Christ. In Australia, there shall be tremendous revival. Again, talking about this revival, I heard the angel of Asia say, it is the last harvest. Then, as if the Lord were speaking, he said, I shall prepare my church for the return of Christ. And then he says, I was happy with such good news after the message of judgment. All the time the 5 angels were in my room, I could feel their presence. It was tremendous. Then he talks about the second angel, and he says, then I saw that the second angel had a sickle in his hand, such as is used in harvesting. It's harvest time. The second angel said, harvest time has come in Israel and the countries all the way to Iran. I saw those countries in a few split seconds. All of Turkey and those inaudible countries that have refused me and refused my message of love shall hate each other and kill one another. And he says, I saw the angel raise the sickle and come down on all the Middle East countries. So that those little goodies just tied everything together. They were just extra confirmation from the Lord to tell me that this message is truth, and I needed to get it out to the body and to speak this to those who are blind still, who are not heeding to his word, those who are on the fence, that are lukewarm, that it is time to get yourself together. It is time to come into the presence of the Lord, to receive him into your heart before it's too late, because it's going to be too late. You don't want to be caught unprepared, as I keep saying. You don't want, the Lord said he will come upon you as a thief in the night, and you won't know when that day is, and you will not be prepared, and there will be a consequence for that. And you don't want to be stuck here doing all, as I believe we're going to be here. We're going to be here throughout this time. But those who are in the Lord will be covered to do his will, to do his work and minister while we're here. But those who are not in the Lord will be uncovered, and they will be receiving the wrath of all the stuff that's happening. So, I'm not saying that the time of wrath and the time of tribulation are the same thing. I'm just saying that those that are outside of God will be experiencing, they will be uncovered to experience all the things, the horrible things that are going to happen. I mean, we're going to be covered, so we have nothing to fear, but we're going to be here to work during this time. It's very apparent and clear that this is truth. So, just one other thing I wanted to share real quick was that same night that I had this dream, the Lord gave me another word, and what he told me was that there's information coming down the plumb line to me. So I just kind of wrote this down. I wasn't even really thinking about it. And the next day, while I was doing my research, I was listening to a sermon on some of the things that I was doing my research on, and the speaker had mentioned the plumb line revelation, and that just rung in my ears, plumb line, because I remember the Lord spoke plumb line to me the previous night. So I looked up plumb line revelation, and the Lord led me to Amos chapter 7 to chapter 9. But what I want to share to you right now is Amos chapter 7, verse 7 to 9, because this was the third time that he brought this verse to me. The first time was when I first started understanding some of the things that the Lord had been showing me, the things that I was experiencing, and which was like about a year or so ago. And then he showed me this verse again when he spoke to me about the shepherding part of my ministry, which was a few months ago. And now he's bringing this verse back to me again. So I know it's very important. So Amos chapter 7, verse 7 to 9 says, "This is what he showed me. The Lord was standing by a wall that had been built true to plumb, with a plumb line in his hand. And the Lord asked me, 'What do you see, Amos?' And then Amos says, 'A plumb line,' I replied. Then the Lord said, 'Look, I am setting a plumb line among my people Israel. I will spare them no longer.'" This is him saying that this time of wickedness is coming to a fullness, and he's fed up with it. Then verse 9 says, "The high places of Isaac will be destroyed, and the sanctuaries of Israel will be ruined. With my sword I will rise against the house of Jeroboam." So, and then definitely read Amos chapter 7 to chapter 9, because all that ties into where we're at right now. Basically, what the Lord was using Amos for at that time, he was saying that he wanted to, he had called Amos away from being a shepherd for the time being, and to go prophesy to his people. And that's what he has called me to do. This is what he was revealing to me that he has called me to do. And I want to apologize, because this was actually not the verse that I was talking about that he showed me 3 times. But this verse was important because of the fact that it related to the plumb line. But the verse that he had shown me 3 times was when Amos had said that he had never been a prophet, and he wasn't the son of a prophet, but he was a shepherd, and the Lord called him away from tending to the flock and told him to go out and prophesy to his people. And that's exactly what the Lord has given me a calling to do. He told me to take a break from tending to the flock right now and to go out and prophesy. And that's why I said that other video that the Lord told me to tell the people that their sons and daughters shall prophesy. And he's given me that verse at least 3 times now. So that's confirmation, and it's important, because God always, when he starts speaking things 2-3 times, that's important. That means he's serious. Like, this is now. He wants you to do this. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I know many others are also understanding that the time of judgment is now, and it's very serious, and we need to get to work. God is putting us to work. He's using us. He's calling us into him to give us instruction and direction on our jobs that we are going to be in this time. And he's preparing us so that we can go out and do this when it's time to do it. So God bless you. I love you, and I'll talk with you soon.